Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So a few months back when I was doing the focal spectrum video with the lovely guys from the Maltmiller, Martin Rake sowed a little bit of a seed in my mind.
I'd love to see a Citra Galaxy version.
The result of which is this beer here. My take on Even Sharks Need Water using Galaxy Spectrum. So why did I want to make this beer specifically using the Galaxy Spectrum hop extract? The main reason is because of Galaxy hops themselves, and as you might be aware if you've used them at all over recent years, the kind of variability that there's been in a lot of the harvests as far as the quality and maybe the kind of standard of some of the hops that we've been able to get hold of as homebrewers. It's been up and down, shall we say, and certainly I've found that from the first versions of Galaxy that I tried, probably back in maybe 2016, that sort of time, it's gone from initially being an extremely fruity, tropical, just pure fruit salad, kind of sweet flavoured hop, through various levels of pretty extreme kind of earthy bitterness and just real kind of, you know, harsh levels of harsh flavour essentially. So there's been great Galaxy hop pellets available at different times. Obviously there are people making amazing commercial beers like the original Sharks Need Water, but it has definitely put me off, and I know it's put a lot of other people off, using Galaxy pellets in beers, particularly big beers like this where you're investing quite a bit of time and money and using a high quantity of hops, where in some cases Galaxy might have perhaps kind of turned out not so good in other brews that you've used. So being able to use Spectrum means that in theory you should get a more true to type flavour from it, and you're not going to suffer from the effects of having that vegetal matter in the mix while you're brewing. So there's going to be less, hopefully, chance for the kind of resiny, bitter, earthy flavours that might come from that to appear in the finished beer at the end. So I'm not going to go through the full recipe for this because obviously all of that is covered in the original Maltmiller videos, but I will put links to those in the description. I will link to my Brewfather file because it does just kind of show how I've utilised the Galaxy Spectrum in the recipe, but essentially I've just replaced a kind of 100-gram portion of the Galaxy dry hop with that little pouch of Galaxy Spectrum that I was using. The remaining hops, I have still used Galaxy hops pellets in there, but I've actually used the Barth Haas pure hop pellets there. So again, in theory, the best possible version of those Galaxy hops that I could get hold of in pellet form and also in the Spectrum extract form. So let's do a little bit of brew footage and then we'll get into tasting this beer and seeing if the Galaxy Spectrum version of this has given a good result for me. Right then, let's get into the tasting. So in the glass, it looks like a super hazy, juicy beer, as you'd expect, especially with the grain bill on this one, which has got lots of wheat and oats in it and that kind of thing. The aroma is pure tropical fruit, so you've got a really nice, zesty, there's a little bit of a kind of lemony, limey thing going on there. Definitely some of that kind of citra aroma, but then there's also a really nice peachy, sweet, maybe passion fruit kind of aroma in there, which I would put down to the Galaxy more than anything else. Definitely a kind of juicy fruit, gum kind of aroma on there. Let's taste it. So the body on this beer is fantastic. The use of adjuncts in the recipe and the water chemistry and all the rest of it delivers a really full, kind of creamy mouthfeel and body to this beer, which is great. And then you've just got that sweet, juicy hop flavour coming through. There is still a bit of bitterness there, but it's not harsh. It's just giving that nice bite to the fruit flavours that you're getting from the Citra and the Galaxy here. And yeah, the Galaxy is definitely presenting really nicely as far as just delivering that kind of sweet, peachy, passion fruit, tropical, fruit salad kind of flavour. There's still a little bit of earthiness alongside it, but it's nowhere near as pronounced as I've experienced it with, like I said before, beers where you might be using a really large quantity of Galaxy pellets. And it's certainly not got the really harsh astringent bitterness that unfortunately I have experienced in the past using standard T90s as well. And again, just to point out, this does have some Galaxy hop pellets in it. It's not purely Spectrum, but those are the pure hop pellets that I've used. So that is delicious, frankly, and it's the second kind of beer like this that I've used Spectrum in, and both have been roaring successes, to be brutally honest with you. It's just delivers all the flavour. Both the beers that I've used it in have been drinkable extremely quickly with very little conditioning. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of Spectrum and Incognito, and also the pure hop pellets, because again, when I've used those products, they've all delivered really great flavour without the pitfalls of, maybe the beer coming out a little bit green or harsh, or having that kind of hop astringency and bitterness that can sometimes come with the really heavy hop additions. And I think using the Spectrum, just because of the fact that it's going to, in this case, sort of remove at least, I guess, a third, if not more, of the just vegetal matter that comes with hop pellets out of the dry hop, is obviously going to help with that too. So I think the recipe is obviously a great one. Loads of people have done it and recommended it anyway. But if you are concerned about using Galaxy pellets in it, or you don't feel like you've got a great source for those, the Galaxy Spectrum is definitely a winner in this. Anyway, one more thing before we finish up. So you might have guessed it, I have got the OG beer here as well. I didn't really intend to be worrying about whether or not this was going to be a clone, authentic clone beer of the original Even Sharks Need Water. But when I saw my local bottle shop had it in, and I knew that I had this in the tank at home, I thought I'd have to grab a can of it and just do the little side-by-side test as part of the video. So let's get this into the glass. So Verdant's Even Sharks Need Water comes in at 6.5%. My version came out 6.3%. And again, obviously, it's all Citra Galaxy, hot side and cold side. So let's have a look at them. I'll give this one a little top up first. So, side by side in the glass. I need a bit more light in this garage. I think they're very, very, very similar. The original one is maybe a little bit paler. I think my one looks slightly more orange. It might be because this also seems to be a little bit more opaque, which can obviously cause a little bit of a difference in how the colour presents. But they're near as damn it on the colour. So aroma-wise, I think maybe this one has a slightly kind of difficult to describe, but slightly more tangy, citrus-like note on the aroma. I think I get a little bit more of the kind of malt sweetness coming through on my one. But let's do the taste test. That's the most important thing. So there's that classic even sharks need water dankness from the Citra and Galaxy together. A little bit of pineness actually in this one. But yeah, still that deep kind of tropical fruit flavour. Maybe a bit of pineapple in this, more so than what I got in my one. And a kind of, yeah, papaya, pineapple, super smooth. Again, a little bit of bitterness there, but really not harsh in any way at all. Delicious. So I'm going to have to go, I'm pretty sure it does taste different to my one, but not that different. Yeah, I mean, for me, they're super similar. It's just about the way those fruit flavours are presenting. So my one seems to come across a little bit more kind of peachy, passion fruit sort of flavour. I'm getting a bit more of a zingy kind of pineapple, papaya, tropical fruit thing off of this. But as far as the other characteristics of the beers, the body mouthfeel, bitterness level, all of that kind of stuff, they're really, really similar. It's you know, for this kind of beer, probably one of the best efforts as a clone that I've done up to this point. They're both really nice beers, to be fair. Yeah, so I'm going to drink both of these, get a little bit pushed, and then head off to bed, I think. But definitely have a go at this recipe if you haven't done it already. And like I said, if you are wanting to avoid any of the pitfalls of using potential pitfalls, let's say, not everyone is going to have the same issues or maybe have the same hops, but if you want to avoid the potential pitfalls that you might have encountered with using Galaxy hop pellets, highly recommend using the Spectrum hop extract to avoid those and get the best kind of flavour that you can from Galaxy. Cheers, everyone.
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.